All right, well, give yourself a hand. Happy fall, almost. So it's good to have everybody back and just get started again and get back in the flow. I hope everybody's had a great summer. And in fact, kind of want to just kind of talk about that tonight. Like, what did we learn over the summer? What were some of the ahas we might have experienced as we spent some time in the sun or with family and friends or working or whatever it might be. And I'll just share one that I had with you yesterday. I learned the power that it's okay to change your mind. It is really okay to change your mind. I thought that I wanted to be somewhere. I went there. I sat down. And then it kind of came to me that, you know what? I'm not feeling it. So I got up and I left. And, it was kind of weird because the guilt wanted to come in to say, you should stay, you're here already, people have seen you, you should be here, right. All of that, all of those voices in the mind. But then I'm like, no. I'm going to honor the intuition that says it's okay to leave. It is okay to leave. Honor your intuition. It can lead to big things. It can lead to little things. And when I honored it, it did lead to a couple of things that might be small by the casual observer, but really might not have been small at all for other people that were part of it because I made myself available to my choice. We can get so caught up into what we think we should do. What we should do. And we didn't finish going around the room. But I want to do that. Or did we? Charlene.
Oh, sorry.
Charlene.
Sorry. Hello, my name is Charlene Shockley. What else do I get to say?
And is there something you want to talk about tonight?
Oh gosh, yeah, I missed you terribly. It was so funny. I was having a bad day, and I just immediately drove here on a Monday, and I was getting all excited. I went, oh, that's right, they're not here, and I almost went to the improv class.
Yes, and I met that guy. I don't know. His name's Joshua. He does acting classes. So, yeah. No, well, he's an actor coach. He's doing classes on commercial, TV, and film acting right there in the art gallery. Yeah, just a few months ago, the art gallery opened up. It's a beautiful spot. And I've added a couple things on the wall here this year, kind of moved some things around. I got a Babe Ruth quote there that says, never let the fear of striking out get in your way. How many times did Babe Ruth swing the bat and miss? A lot. Hundreds, if not thousands of times. And he missed. Now, he could have said, you know what, I'm tired of swinging this bat and missing, and I might as well just give up. But he didn't. And every time he swung the bat, he gave it everything he had. He did not hold back. So why do we keep holding back on stuff? Why are we holding back in business? Why are we holding back on our relationships? Why are we holding back on our spiritual development? Why are we holding back on honoring our preferences? What are we waiting for? Whose permission are we waiting to get to honor what we want? Is it our mom and dad's? Is that our best friends? Is it our BFFs? Is it our kids? Our significant others? The presidents? I don't know. But it seems sometimes we're in this pattern of waiting. We're waiting for some giant boom, some giant flag, some giant thing that says it's okay to go now. It's okay to go. It's okay to launch. It's okay to go for it. And Sometimes we wait forever. Sometimes we only partially engage. Oh, it's okay to go, but I'm only going to go really slow. Okay? It's still not okay to break out like a sprinter does on the track. Okay? Because maybe we're afraid we're going to burn out. Maybe if we're not committed. Maybe we have no idea what we really want. Maybe there's some pattern or belief from the past that questions whether we really even deserve to pursue what we really want. But what would you do if you were not afraid? I got my daughter a sticker, a magnet. She's coming to town this week. That says, what would you do if you knew you could not fail? I like the phrase in Who Moved My Cheese? What would you do if you weren't afraid? If you weren't afraid, close your eyes, think of some situation you have in your life, and if you weren't afraid, what would you say? What would you do? Where would you go? What course would you take? What conversation would you have? What money would you invest? What things would you throw away and get rid of and release? What new things would you pursue? How would that change the complete dynamics of your relationships? How much would it change how you show up in the work environment? We're so hesitant. We doubt, we question, we fear, we hold back. Again, as if we're waiting for somebody to say, it's okay. I don't know if I count to you or not, but I'm going to say you have my permission to chase your dreams. It's time. It is time, it is time, it is time. Don't you feel that it's time? I know that I've had moments in my life where it's like, it's time, Hyatt, come on. What are you waiting for? It's time. And you got to dive in with both feet. It's like it's the pool and we're just going like this and we're trying to feel how cold the water is. Or maybe it's like, well, I'll sit down on the edge and just put my feet in. You know. And yep, we get results when we do that. Very limited results. Meanwhile, everybody else is swimming around in the pool having a good time. People are diving in, cannonballing in, swinging in off the rope, doing, triple Lindy's off the 10-meter board. And we're holding back. So my challenge to you tonight is to exercise massive action in a new direction. Just pick one. Pick one topic. Pick one direction. Pick one goal. And give yourself full, complete, 100% permission to go get it. To do everything that's required to do it. No matter what the cost, no matter what the price. And here's the thing, you don't have to have it all figured out. I learned this past summer, and I love this saying from Grant Cardone. I'm a Grant Cardone fan. You guys already know that. He says in one of his books, The 10X Rule, commit first, figure it out later. So I had a friend of mine message me several months ago and said, John, do you do this kind of training? I said, yes. I knew what it was. I didn't have the full package of background or the certification, okay? But I said yes. And I was like, oh man, I just said yes. Now what? Okay, we all go through that. Now what? I certainly can't back out. So I picked up the phone and started to call some people. Radical trust. I had no clue how this was going to unfold. All I knew was that I was going to say yes first. I was going to commit first and figure it out later. I was going to put this principle to the test and see what happened with it. So I picked up the phone, made a couple calls. I go on LinkedIn. I plug in what I'm looking for. Make a couple calls. A friend of mine gave me a couple sources to look at or to call. But the source of my dreams appeared as in my LinkedIn search because I reached out to this person I had never talked to before, had no clue who she was. And she probably invested a good 4 to 6 hours of her time over the course of a few weeks to help me prepare for this project. But I didn't know she was going to pop up when I said yes. I said yes. Next thing you know, I'm Google searching this thing. What is this? I've heard of it. I kind of know what it is. I'm Googling. I'm pulling down all this stuff off the internet and stuff. I was like, what the heck? I still don't know how to put it together or how to approach it or how to make it happen. I want to be professional to my client who's going to hire me and pay me decent money for this kind of opportunity and the training. So, man, I got to bring it. That lesson, commit first and figure out later, is gold. Because there's your permission is in the commitment. Your permission is in the commitment. Is commitment 1 T or 2 T's? I always forget.
I think it's 2.
Is it 2?
I wrote it with 1.
Okay. I always forget. What part of your life, what situation in your life that you're in right now, that you're thinking about, curious about, maybe losing a little bit of sleep over, or you've got a vision of, that you can apply this principle? Permission is in the commitment. The instant you can commit, and I wish I had this quote memorized, but the gist of the quote, and I forget who said it too, but the gist of the quote is that the minute you make a decision, the universe opens up to provide all the resources and solutions to do it.
It's not Proctor, it's
Somebody that says in the moment that you make a decision, you unlock and open the doors of the universe to respond and to provide you all the resources to do it. Something related. I'm going to have to go home and look it up.
yeah.
The universe conspires
Yes.
is a phrase. The universe conspires to make it so.
Yeah, I've heard Bob Proctor say it, and Hicks say it.
It's a spiritual law.
Yeah.
It is law that when you make a commitment and you make a decision,
Butterworth.
is it Butterworth?
It's in one of his books.
Okay.
What if you do that? If you say yes to something, you make a decision, you go forward, and every door is shut. You know what I mean? You're trying to figure it out, and you're going along and like, okay, I'm committing to this, I'm going to do it. And then doors are just shut in your face left and right. So when do you say, Okay, well, apparently the universe is not lining up for that. That I shouldn't have said yes to that. Is that what you tell yourself?
No.
Right. Go ahead.
It's still okay to have said yes to it. The lesson that you're learning is more time is needed. Okay? Or maybe this isn't the opportunity. But see, that's the whole idea too. Is it does if we get attached to a specific outcome, okay, we're going to be disappointed. We are setting ourselves up for unmet expectations. Okay? Whereas if you say yes, commit first. Yep, I'm going to commit. I'm going to say yes to this, and I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to go into radical trust, give myself permission, make this commitment, and unlimited resources are going to become available. There's still so much gold and value in that exercise that if I keep my perspective true, and that remains my perspective, if I start to get multiple red lights, and I trust my intuition that says, not yet, or not this way, or not with these people, okay? I don't put a massive, significant failure value on the experience, okay?
It's just one faction.
It's just one faction. It just says, thank you, God, for leading me to make the commitment, learn what I just learned, from realizing that things need to be ready, and isn't it interesting that they aren't? Therefore, it's okay for me to change my mind and say, thank you for the commitment and the decision. I'm going to trust what I'm reading, and I'm going to change direction.
Pivot.
I'm going to pause, pivot. But I'm still in radical trust mode. I'm not in guilt or shame mode because I'm changing my mind. Okay?
And also the thought of if you don't try, you won't know. Right? Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
You said yes, it's not working out, but if I had said no, I would be kicking myself like, I bet that would have worked out, even though it didn't. But I wouldn't have known if I hadn't said yes.
You would have never known. And that's why you can never lose by saying yes.
Right.
You can only gain. Unless you look at it with scarcity complex, failure-oriented, guilt and shame perspective. Woe is me, I'm a victim, and I should have known better. And you start to go down that road, then you will experience all those low-energy vibes around the experience. And then what have you set yourself up to do the next time? Repeat. Okay? Go into it with low energy, low confidence, low clarity. Whereas if I go in full of, this, all I say is that door's open. They're still open doors. They're just going to be different doors. I'm not attached to these doors being open. I trust that if now is not the right time, everything I've done is still of priceless value in creating conditions for me to do this later down the road, differently, with somebody else, for more money, okay, with this type of preparation. And I can align all of those resources up. Because it all happens in divine time and order, right? Divine time and order is always playing out. And anytime we think that it's not, we set ourselves up again for that low energy attachment. Which whenever we set ourselves up for that, we get very limited results. Say yes. Commit first. Commit to the client. Commit to the project. Commit to the new clothes. Commit to the new car. Commit to the new presentation. Commit to the new opportunity. And figure it out later. Now, this is not a cavalier approach. Okay? This does not throw caution to the wind or common sense to the wind. No. It leverages that. Because by saying yes to the commitment, you leverage your energy to say, I'm going to show up available and I'm going to create conditions for this to go the way I want it to. Now, what do I need to do? I need to find the resources. Do I trust that the resources are out there to help me? So radical trust isn't just in yourself. That's where it has to be primarily. But where else are you putting trust? In the universe?
Just divine time and order.
Divine in the timing, right?
Timing, because sometimes
So-
you have to wait, you don't always know why.
The universe always says yes.
So you put you put trust in yourself. You're putting trust in the universe.
The process.
You're putting trust in a process. I'm putting trust in resources. Are the resources limited or unlimited? Unlimited. And where do they come from? What? They come from expected and unexpected places, right? If I always count, if I'm of the mindset that things only come to me from sources that I know about, I close doors. If I say, all of my doors would have been closed because I didn't know anybody who had what I needed to make it happen.
How is not of our concern.
That's right. So it requires a releasing. So we're going to release the how. At least the specific how that attaches us to it. Okay? But resources, and I'm going to put people out here. See? People talk about angels. There might be unseen angels. I don't know.
The lady that spent 6 hours with you.
Absolutely.
She's an angel.
She's the angel. Okay? If I go into imaginary land and think about intangible angels, that's okay. I'm not. That's okay. If that's your modus operandi, by all means. But I guarantee you that the real resource is going to be an actual flesh and blood angel that you will be divinely led to, who will say, come on, I got what you need. And that's what happened. That's what happened. And the presentation went off magnificently. Tons of compliments. I'd never done it before. But I knew what I wanted to create, and I was committed to showing up available. And then I had to release it too. I had to, because in my mind of the perfect presentation looked like this. It went like this. Getting through all of that. Getting through all of that. Saying the right and perfect thing. Saying, doing this perfectly. And at first I was nervous about that, but then when I went into it, after about an hour, it was like a 3-hour thing. After about the first hour, I was like, man, I am releasing. I am completely unattached because the flow that this thing is going in, we're going to cover exactly what's needed, exactly what's required, and in the perfect context and fit for the audience. I am not worried one bit about crossing every T and dotting every I. If I had been attached to that, I would have been a mess. I would have been nervous, anxious, pushing things along, trying to get things through all the slides and through all the material. And I'm like, nope. Go to trust. Let trust drive the train. And when we do that, real magic happens. Because we're available for it. We're not trying to control it. Commit first, figure it out later. Because you will figure it out. And there are resources, no matter what's going on. Relationship, money, health, family, work, kids, parents. Commit first to what you want and figure it out later by making yourself available for what you want. What else? What are some summer experiences that you guys had this past summer that stick out for you?
Well, for a long time I've been wanting to work on my gallery photography stuff, my fine arts. And shot a bunch of stuff up in Bryson City, our place up there, and I've always wanted a gallery. Well, it's down the road somewhere. But I said, I've shot this, I want a gallery. So went to the people that I knew. Mike, who owns a restaurant, was my gallery prints, hanging in the restaurant.
Sounds like a gallery to me.
Mark, who owns the brewery a few doors down, one of my gallery prints is now hanging in the restaurant. And those two know somebody else who actually owns a gallery that I'll be talking to soon, so my print will end up in an actual gallery.
That's awesome.
So, did David give himself permission?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I just wanted the prints to be visible.
Did he commit first?
Oh,
Yeah. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Did he figure it out later? Yeah.
Yeah.
Was he attached to what it looked like? Mm-mm.
Yeah. Well,
You had a vision of what
I
you
did
want.
have a vision, because every time I'd walk into the diner, I said, it's going on that wall. 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 Where did Mike hang?
On that wall.
On that wall. The brewery, they're actually moving one of the photographs that one of the local photographers gave them. They're actually moving it to put my art there.
And what is it? Pictures of like scenery?
Yeah,
Like
it's a
mountains,
famous
stream?
landmark there. It's called the Tunnel to Nowhere, the Road to Nowhere.
Oh,
Sounds like the law of attraction to me. That's what this is all about. When you commit first and figure it out later, when you go into radical trust, when you have a vision of what you want and you make yourself available for it, you start to vibrate in a very powerful, positive way. And you draw to you the process, the resources, the people. That's what happens. I know that I attracted my angel to help me figure out what I needed to figure out. No doubt in my mind. So whatever you have going on, however you're vibrating around it, is going to determine the results and how you see and feel about the results. Check yourself before you wreck yourself. Okay? If you're not vibrating in alignment with what you want, that's okay. We're human. That's how we learn. Pay attention to that. Go, there's something about within me that I kind of know what I want, but something about me is out of alignment with it. Okay? Am I doubtful that I deserve it, or I'm worthy, or that I'm good enough?
No.
That's usually the number one obstacle. I can never do that. You know? I'm not smart enough. Okay? I can't do it. I should just say no. That's the first thing, is that self-doubt. And that's what you need to check. Say, wait a minute. Is that even true? No. When was the last time you believed that, and what happened? Why don't you try to believe something else for once and see what happens? Who else? Thank you for sharing your experience. Who else had a summer experience?
With the Reiki studio, I
Yes.
didn't know I was looking to do that. I had no idea. But Joyce Reynolds, the mentor, the four of us met at, she'd given me my 1 and 2 degrees of Reiki 4 years ago. And so I knew I had the ability. I've healed myself several times over the years. I've healed people here and there randomly. Like, people were just kind of put in front of me that, like, oh, come here, I can help you with that. You know, like a bruise. I mean, a girl was getting married and just banged her arm on some bricks when we were out one night. And I said, let me try and pull it out. I pulled that bruise right out. She said, I feel like I didn't even hit anything. And so I knew that I have the way that it's supposed to work.
There you go. How about that?
That out a little bit, but
I got another one here and another one here. We played volleyball.
I'll
We did
try your
volleyball
arm next
Saturday
time.
This one is this one's from my bow.
Yeah, you're
Archery.
right. I saw that. But a friend of mine that I know from a networking group, and every week when I go to this networking group, I say, oh, I do not want to go in there. I have to like force myself to go in there with a smile. And the strangest thing is that people in there who know me say, you always look so happy to be here. Like, they're being serious, and I think, really? Oh,
So good at making it.
Right. So a girl that I met there is a massage therapist, and one day she stood up and we had gone to breakfast a couple of weeks prior. I never told her about Reiki. I never thought about it, right? So she stood up and did her 30-second. She said, listen, if I'm mean today, it's because I have the worst migraine ever. So after the meeting, I went over and I said, you know what, did I tell you I do Reiki? And she goes, no. I said, let me try and get rid of your migraine. So we went and found a quiet spot, 5 minutes. I sat there behind her and I pulled it out, and she felt exactly the way I did it, how it felt, what I was doing with her eyes closed. It was the strangest thing, and it took the migraine away, and it was gone for 12 hours. She called me that night and said, this migraine is still gone. So she said, I just got an opening in my building. She has a massage studio with 3 little studios. She does one, and an esthetician, and an empty one. She said, you need to start charging people to do Reiki. I said, I never thought about doing that. She goes, no, you have to. You just did that for me. I totally believe in it. I'll give you 6 months rent.
Wow.
Just, 6 month lease, you just go and do it.
Fantastic.
And so I went to Joyce and I said, okay, I know I don't need this, but I want to give you my 3rd degree. So I'm a master now. And so now I can teach. I've got 2 students lined up to teach in October, and then my studio's already, I've got a nice Reiki table, and so it just all came together. But I went through a couple of stumbling blocks. Like when I'm thinking, maybe I'm not supposed to be doing this. But just like you said, I found a way to circumvent the city of Kennesaw. made friends with a couple people over there, and just, just like, look, I just want to help people. Can you help me get this license that you guys are putting me through craziness for? He goes, I agree with you. So I went and talked to somebody. And so, instead of me saying, oh, the city's not giving me what I want, I'm out of here, I can't do this, I kept pushing. And until, I knew that this is where I'm supposed to, now it's all open and ready to go. So,
yes. Well, that's awesome. Wow.
I'm not leaving real estate.
So we got David's prints going up in the gallery. We got Christine with the Zen Den. Reiki. I want to make an appointment to have an experience.
I want an appointment now too. I love Reiki. Reiki's awesome. I'd like to learn how to do this.
Here's a technique I want to suggest that at least has worked for me. Because whenever I go into doubt mode, okay, and whenever I think maybe I shouldn't be, or I'm not sure if this is the right decision, although I kind of feel that it is, I commit to the decision, okay? And I commit with this statement. God, I trust myself. I trust that you've led me to reach this conclusion, to make this decision, to go in this direction. I honor my preferences because I honor you. And my preferences come from you. You are my source. All of my good preferences come from divine source. And so I'm going to take that as a sign that I'm supposed to be headed in this direction. And then this is what I say. If this is not a fit for me, if I am supposed to do something else other than this, I trust that you will give me such a powerful indication that it will change my mind, shift my direction, or cause me to pause. But in the absence of that sign, I'm pressing forward until I get such a strong indication from you that I have no doubt I should be doing something else. See what I'm saying? That takes all that for me. That takes me out of that question mode. It takes me out of that doubt mode. It allows me to commit to the decision full of trust, figuring out, God led me to this. Okay? If He wants me to do something different, or she, whatever it is for you, wants me to do something different, then show me. In the absence of that, all green lights. And whenever I've applied that line of thinking, I experience power, connection, resources, energy, abundance, lessons. And again, I'm not attached. You know, I try and monitor my attachment. We're all human. We can all get very attached to things. But I try and honor my attachments, and I'm like, release, release. Doesn't have to go exactly as you look like, as you want, because it could go better than you can ever imagine. Okay? So pay attention to that. But that's where the that's what I do. That's a technique that works for me that says I'm not going to be in this analysis paralysis mode forever. Okay? And the way to move out of it is to trust and to say, I'm going this direction, God, and if you want me to do something else, then by God, show me what it is. In the absence of that, I'm trusting. I'm going forward. All right. Who else had another fantastic summer? Judy.
It wasn't fantastic, but I think it kind of fits with a different ending. David and I have been wanting to get a place up in Bryson City. It's just beautiful up there. We've got friends there. And all of a sudden, a friend of ours said, "What is it you want, Jude?" She said, "I have a place up here. My kids are all gone to college now. I don't need 2 places." So we went and looked at it. 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and those beautiful little sunroom. I was smitten. I thought, this is it. But I was scared, kind of.
Sure.
It's a lot of money, and all that stuff. So I went to the first mortgage thing where my house is. They gave me the, go-ahead light. Everything was good. And I thought, here we go. And then they found out, which David and I didn't really realize at first, is that underneath it all, it really was a mobile home. I mean, it was all stationary now. It's not going anywhere, but underneath. So they couldn't write me a mortgage because of that. They didn't have a presence in North Carolina. They could give me a house, but they couldn't give me that. So
Right.
Oh, okay, well, that's it. And we checked into another one, and it didn't move. And I thought, doggone it, I've got to try Wells Fargo, my regular bank. Sure enough, they said, go for it, girl. They gave me the permission, and they gave me the loan. Everything's done. We're going to close August 31st. It's beautiful. I'm all excited. And then the appraisal came in. $20,000 under her asking price. So you know what that does. Because I had taken money out of the bank already. This for this, this for my driveway, this for the deck, all this other stuff. So I would have to come up with, she decided to come down $10,000. So I'd still have to come up with like another 10 or the compensation thereof. And I thought about it. I would have to go back to the bank and get some more of my funds out of this other area
Mm-hmm.
to put in with the money that I had. And then I got to thinking, there's more taxes to pay because I took more money out of the bank. and
Right.
This and that. And I sure did like that sunroom. And it's .2 miles from Smoky Mountain National Park. I could walk.
Oh my gosh,
And
yeah.
there's like 3 waterfalls within walking distance of that. And it was like, oh dear Lord. But I did it. I just.
Congratulations.
Please tell me that.
Like on the edge of my seat.
I said, that's it. I
Wait
just
for it.
can't pay any more taxes this next year. I'm paying enough already.
Yeah.
And I didn't feel, what was the word you, not.
Aligned?
I let it go. I was able to.
You weren't attached.
That's the one, the attached.
So you were attached to
I was
sunroom.
so attached to that something.
Always count on.
It had
Something for the
oh,
camera.
white wicker furniture and white curtains and, I mean, it was, I had it all planned, boy. But I did, I finally released it. Okay, that's it. And now it's proven to have been the best thing I could have done because I'm finding out I better power wash my house, I better
Okay.
have painting done around the wood, you know, frame.
So what was the value of the whole experience for you, even though it didn't work out to where you purchased the property?
It didn't kill me to let it go. I can do it, and if things go right next year, maybe there'll be another place, and I know I can do it. I can get the loan. What do
Excellent.
you do?
Maybe, there will be.
That one was.
Sounds like-
Because she's not gonna sell it to anybody who wants to pay
Nobody's
above
about-
and beyond.
yeah.
what it's
Yeah.
worth.
Could come right back to you, right?
Yeah,
It could come back to you or something better.
yeah. That's
So-
what I'm counting on.
This or something better.
I always swear
Yeah.
that. This or something.
This or something
We
better.
were proven better is already there.
So it sounds like you were right up to the point, and it sounds like you changed your mind and gave yourself permission to change your mind. See, even after all that investment, right? Okay, and see, that's the thing. Sometimes we think that simply and only because we've invested energy, emotions, money, or time into something, that it has to be a certain way or go a certain way, or we have to get a specific result in order for it to be of value. Okay? So then we end up going farther than we really want to. That creates results, oftentimes undesired results, and then we wonder why. The amount of time, energy, and emotion is not an indicator of the value. Okay? So check yourself about before you wreck yourself. Before you on how you're choosing to measure success or failure. Because you could look at that whole experience and say, oh, what a failure, never again, what a waste of time, what a waste of energy. But instead you go, wow, I learned a lot about my finances, I learned a lot about property, I learned a lot about appraisals. Sure,
Process.
sure.
Never had one.
And thank you, God, for leading me to change my mind.
There was nothing about this experience that was easy or effortless.
No. But therein again is the value. See, that's what I'm saying. I can either look at the amount of money I spent, I invested, or I can look at the lessons that I learned. Now, what has more value?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, who else?
I have a terrible one. I have to be careful. My mortgage girl's in the room. It's been a lesson for me. I'm going to cry through because Christina wants to kill me. My daughter has been approved by her, And we've been looking for a townhouse or a
It's
small
been since
house.
March.
Yes, I remember.
Since March, we still haven't gotten it.
Okay.
32 contracts later. 32.
You put out that many?
32 contracts. Walked away
You
from
got
4 of them
it, yeah,
because they were
4.
not right. But what I always said to my daughter, it's in God's time and order, and He's trying to teach us the P word. Mother, I don't want to learn the patience word. I'm done, Mom. I'm like, and it's hard because you're just like, the right house will come at the right time. And then finally, after us almost killing each other, like we stopped there for a little bit, and I said, okay, I'm firing myself. I'm done. She found another house. And I tried to call my broker, he wouldn't take her. Nobody in my office will take her. And her contract had expired, so I had to do another contract to put on a house the other day.
Yes.
I said, okay, hon, we'll try this one. And I'm not sure if we have it or not, because it's kind of like one of those where it's gone through probate, and the investor's in it, I think the agent's in it. So I wrote the agent an email before I came today and said, it's not a binding contract until somebody who supposedly is named on the will or deed signs it. You can't sign it. So I don't know what's going to happen.
Okay.
But you know what? She's okay with it. She's fine with it. She's like, Mom, if that's not the house for us, then we'll find something else.
There's the value right there. There's the.
phone's not working.
And my phone doesn't.
Oh.
And I'm in the middle of, and I got a cash offer on another listing, and I almost had a meltdown, and my wonderful friend said, let's go eat. I said, sure. Because I said, you're coming to John's because
We are so ganged up on
Just show her no matter what goes on in your life, you just make a commitment and go for it.
That's what we're talking about.
You know, we can't control phones, we can't control people, we can't control contracts. The only person you can control yourself.
You can control yourself, and you can control how you look at it.
Amen.
Okay? It's all about how you look at it. Because we're always looking at it a certain way. All right? And the thing to check in with ourselves is how is the way that I'm looking at this make me feel? What results do I get? Does it align with me, or is it out of alignment? Is it abundance-minded or scarcity-minded? All right? How am I looking at this? Am I feeling pain, or am I feeling freedom? Okay? And neither one of those things are bad. They're just different. And it's okay to say, wow, I'm feeling some pain around this. Pay attention to that. Wow, then I'm going to pay attention to that. Something needs to be healed or shifted or changed. Or maybe I need to talk to somebody and get some help from somebody to help me sort this out or get another perspective. It's all just information. But when you pay attention to it, you can then make the right choice that can change everything around it. Your daughter now has no problem with contract 35, 36, number 40, number 50. She could write a whole book. She could write a book that says 32 contracts later.
I said, you're not
Okay.
a wealthy virgin anymore.
Right.
I told her that.
And she could probably do lectures and presentations on that, especially to millennials.
Yes.
Hey, millennials,
It's a process.
32 contracts later. All right?
That's what happens when you're looking for a needle in a stack of needles.
Okay. Jenna, do you have anything to share?
Christ.
You don't have to.
No, it's okay. I'll share with you a little bit about my husband's story for right now, because that all happened over this summer. And then something that I'm current and present in, not that happened over the summer. But my husband is a professor at Georgia Tech, and he works in polymers. So, and he's working on alternatives to plastic. So, it's really his main focus in his research right now. And he's just, Georgia Tech sent out a press release about his current work. BBC picked it up, NPR picked it up, the Atlanta Journal-Constitution picked it up. Morning Edition, did a piece on him for NPR, and NBC is coming September the 27th, they're coming in to film crew.
Oh, wow.
So, my little introverted husband doesn't know what to do with all of this attention, you know what I mean? So he's not real sure exactly how to, he's not used to all the attention. But what he's really doing is really powerful, and it could really change how people use what they use every day. So it's really going to be really quite interesting to see what happens. But he's just tried to keep in this mindset the whole summer about getting ready for this press release. He also got a huge grant from the government this past summer that he wrote early in the summer and had to wait for months to find out if he got. Department of Energy is now to support his work. So companies are calling all over the place to find out how they can get on the ground floor. I mean, it's really huge for him. So I'm just so excited for everything that's happening for him. And then for me, I found out that there is a possibility. I'm a portrait photographer. And so I'd love to see some of your stuff. But I'm a portrait photographer and have been for about 5 years on my own, but have been doing portrait photography and weddings for about 8, 9 years now. But I own my own little part-time stuff, and my first attempt at going full-time did not go well. And so I'm still on the part-time, living right there. Felt a lot of shame, felt a lot of guilt, felt a lot of pressure about things not going well the first time, so I got very scared, and I thought I'm just going to give up. I'm going to be able to get myself a regular job, and I'm just going to move on. And then I knew that that was not my deep preference. I knew that's not what I really wanted, and coming to this class helped me just hone in on that. That's not what I really wanted to do. I didn't really want to give up and go get a regular job.
Mm-hmm.
So I started looking for opportunities to receive some mentoring, and I've never really done that on any deep level before, but I think I have found a really great person to do that. It takes a significant amount of financial investment to have this person mentor me. But I had her critique my work on a deep level. I've had 3 people actually who are been in the business 20 years, very notable, had a lot of success, know what they're doing, tell me that there is absolutely no reason for your work that you should not be making money. It's all up here. You got to get this taken care of.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, they've all 3 of them have told me you're way undercharging your work. You just don't have it in front of the right market, and I can help you get there. So I'm excited about that. It's nice to have some sort of confirmation, but at the same time, I went to them looking for critique, and what I got back was some affirmation, which was nice for me. But at the same time, you can just sit there and do nothing with that, or you can sit there and go, okay, now let's go, let's launch, let's do something with it. So I'm in the process of having to have radical trust for $3,000 for this living image.
Excellent.
So I'm looking forward to this interview tomorrow. That maybe that'll be a resource.
Excellent. Okay.
So we'll see what happens with that.
So, how do you view the 3,000?
I think it's very doable. I mean, I'm in that point where I'm like, unless every door shuts, I'm hiring this woman the minute I get a part-time.
Okay. Excellent.
You know what I mean? Like,
Excellent.
I'm going to have to just figure out the rest.
Are you getting value for 3,000?
Oh my God.
Is the 3,000 a bargain?
I don't know if it's a bargain or not. But I mean, I think what she can, I don't know.
I mean, not necessarily. I don't mean bargain in that it's cheap, but is 3,000? What I'm trying to do is zero in so that 3,000. You think of 3,000 as if it's $30. Can you see the $3,000 as if it's $30?
Or will turn into 30,000.
Right.
Yes.
That 3,000 is going to turn into 30,000.
That's excellent.
100,000.
Yeah.
So, and to go with what John was talking about earlier,
Yes.
are you open to receiving angels?
Absolutely.
Okay. I spent 30 years in the industry.
Yeah.
I wrote marketed columns for all of the major photo trade journals.
You
I
know
taught-
marketing?
Yes, I taught marketing and SCAD.
Okay.
I have taken
Wow.
photographers from making $300 a wedding to making $50,000 a wedding.
Right. Well then,
So
Hi.
You have, and so you have another resource.
Yes, that would be great.
Yeah, because I spent, like I said, I spent over 30 years in the industry.
Yeah.
And I wrote for Photo Trade News, Popular Photography. I wrote for PPA, which is now PPAI.
Right.
But
And I have the PPA national certification there. You know what I mean? That's the thing I've been involved
Yeah.
with for years. So
There you go.
I would love to talk to you next time.
So, when you look at the 3,000, because when you said 3,000, I just detected a little bit of energy, and I get it. Hey, $3,000 to the normal person is like, what? I could buy a lot of stuff with $3,000. Okay? So that energy that you have around it, if you go, this 3,000 is worth 300,000, and it's a bargain,
Right.
and it's already replaced.
Right.
In fact, I'll make that money. I will have my first hour with this person will be worth the $3,000 for the benefit of what you learned. See what I'm saying? So when you flip that around, it's abundance minded. $3,000 is nothing.
I'll spend 3,000, make 30,000 any day.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I'm gonna have to go, but I'm gonna pass down a little note to you.
Okay.
My stuff on it, with my information, and then you can contact me, or I can contact you. But
Done.
of course, you early, so I wanna make sure that.
What?
I have no cards.
How do you not have any
I've got
cards?
cash.
So Jenna, thank you for sharing your experience. Very insightful. Congratulations to your husband and his progress. I'm really excited for him. And, congratulations on finding a mentor. I mean, all artists, the painters of old would study under the masters. So it's an investment. Good for you.
Oh, and one of my clients, he is the guy that invented the UV curing for polymers. Yeah.
I talked to him. Yeah,
He teaches at MIT and
Yeah.
lives here. So.
yeah. Well, that's awesome too. Maybe I can get my husband to start with that.
There you go. There's an abundance of resources. It always works out. Boom, and you never know. They're always right there in front of you. But we walk around in this shadow of doubt and, worry and anxiety as if there's not enough. There's always more than enough. Do you have anything to share, Christina?
I don't know. I was trying to think of. You have three of us here in real estate, so the summer is kind of a blur for us. We're so busy. I feel like
Bye, Jenna.
my dog passed in April, and I had a really hard time with it.
Sure.
And I just feel like my temperament has changed, and so I'm trying to deal with that.
Okay. That's okay. That's a place to be present.
And I realize that, I find myself getting short with people, or just, I'm usually very patient, and I'm having a hard time with patience. And I know that's the only thing I can think of for it to make breakfast. So I'm really good at, looking at the positive and giving myself permission. I don't really have a problem with those types of things. I think
There's some in there, David.
I have a problem with where do I start? I don't know where to start, and that's always been the thing for me. I'm okay with, and I'm okay jumping in with both feet. Done that a lot. Just whatever, and we just
Right.
bulldoze forward. Yeah. So anyway.
Well, thank you for sharing that so that we can send you, healing energy and light to be right where you are. And that's why Pace the turtle is sitting out there in the middle of the circle, because he reminds us that it's okay to be right where you are. And that from right where you are right now, as you move through it, is healing and answers. When you said, you're real good at jumping in with both feet and looking over here and looking over there, sometimes the place to start is right in here. Is to say, what do I need to take care of me? And let me spend some time there. So you'll be divinely led to the right resources and to the right insights.
I don't think I know what I need, because I spent my whole life taking care of everybody else.
Yes. That's a very common symptom of caretakers. It's a skill set that can be relearned, how to take care of yourself. Yeah. You'll be okay. And you have 6 angels, 5 angels right here to do anything that we can to help you. So thank you for sharing where you are. We appreciate that story. Scripting is an effective tool that helps us put these things, everything that we've talked about tonight, down in writing as if we already have it, as if we're already doing it. That's the value of scripting. Get yourself a journal if you don't have one already. Write a dedication. Dedicate the journal and your scripting to manifesting all that you desire, all that you want, all that you need in divine time and order, unattached to outcome. Happens as you start to script. Lead with gratitude. Script gratitude. And when you script with gratitude, you'll be surprised at the amount of light that will come in about other things for you to script about. Insights and inspirations will come like a flood as you open yourself up to this experience. And you can script about money, relationships, work, health, spiritual development, family, government, community. All right? But it's always from a place of abundance mindset and alignment. The biggest value that I get from scripting. Before I script, I'm thinking one way, I'm feeling another, I'm saying something else, and I'm doing something else. Especially if I have something that I want out there. When I start to script, I get aligned. It aligns me with the truth. I wanted to get a domain name, yourcoachforlife.com. Well, it was a premium domain, and it cost a good chunk of money. So I probably went a couple months waiting. And then I kind of decided, you know what? Like the conversation we had with Jenna, I'm going to go ahead and commit this money. I really don't care. It's well worth it. I already know I'm going to make the money back in a matter of a short period of time. So what am I worried about? And then when I went to go buy it, the price had gone up about $800. Just in a matter of about 3 days. Okay? And my first reaction was, you know, all those little symbols appearing in a bubble over my head, you know. Raka, raka, shaka, raka, raka. I forget the cartoon character that you said.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to think of.
Yosemite Sam, yeah. And so I was like, and I go to Gene and I'm like, oh my God, you'll never believe what happened. I finally make a decision to go get this thing and it's jacked up another $800. I called GoDaddy because it was on GoDaddy and I'm like, what's the deal? I know this was at another price point just 3 days ago. And they said, well, yeah, it was, and it recently went up. And so I'm like, I tell you what, tell the owners of the domain that I'm willing to pay the previous price. And then that night I scripted about it because I was out of alignment. See, that energy took me out of alignment. I went to scarcity minded, okay? And I'm like, nope, abundance minded. I'm going to get the domain no matter what. This is what I want to pay for it. And I'm just going to trust that the people are going to be open and responsive and supportive of my offer. Sure enough, the next morning I got the good news that they accepted my offer. Alignment. Alignment is what scripting does. It takes us out of confusion, anxiety, and scarcity-minded, and it aligns our thoughts, our beliefs, our spirit, our words. When we script, it guides us to the right action, divine right actions that are required, because it's action-based. Scripting is an action-based exercise because it points us to the actions that are necessary to be in alignment. Why? Because if I really believed the action that was required by me in that instance was to call GoDaddy, make an offer for the original amount, okay, and then trust. And then be prepared to pay whatever was required to pay. All right? So there was action. It wasn't a mumbo jumbo, oh, the universe is going to take care of it thing. It was like, John's actions are aligned with what he wants. He's got a preference. This is what he wants. It's already done what he wants. So you're writing as if it's already done. And boom. It's not the first time that's happened to me. Who's had that similar experience while scripting? Yeah. It's that powerful. And it changes your life because it changes you. It's changed me by getting real clear on what you want. What do you really want? I really want somebody to do something. Really? Is that what you really want? I really want something from somebody. Okay? No, that's not what I really want. What I really want is for it to feel like this. I want these conditions established. I want peace, harmony, agreement, openness, kindness, whatever, extended. Because I know if those conditions are met, what I want is more likely to occur. Scripting aligns the conditions. That's why I say we show up available to create conditions for success. Get real clear on the conditions around what you want, not just what you want. Because you wanted a gallery, a place for your pictures, and it sounds like to me you got real clear around the conditions under which your photos are presented. Owners who love you, who love your art, who willingly say, get rid of this piece, move it over here, we're putting David Clark here. That's a whole lot different than saying, I just want my photo up in a gallery somewhere. Because it could be in a gallery and it could be in a corner. Nobody would see it. So when you start to get real clear about describing the conditions, what things look like, feel like, and sound like, those are the three things you can script about. What does this really look like? If I were to describe it, what does it sound like? And then what does it feel like, look like, sound like, feel like? Those are the conditions. What values are demonstrated? Respect, love, integrity, peace, harmony, abundance, success, teamwork, collaboration, open doors, open hearts, open minds, easy language, speaking the truth, whatever. Those are conditions. And as you script about the conditions around what you want, it puts you in the flow because you get aligned and you're going downstream. You're rowing your boat. You're not trying to row somebody else's boat. And you're in the flow and you're open to receive. And that's why what you want is already out there. It's just a matter of creating it.
What if you're scripting about the same thing and nothing happens? How do you shift them?
Thank you for bringing up that point. Because when we're scripting, well, see, okay, so thank you. That's a very common question, very common question. So, the whole key with scripting is around the energy for which we're scripting. So, I would look at the words you're scripting, how you're describing it, and are you writing as if you don't have it? Because if I'm like, oh man, this needs to come and it needs to come now, or I want this to come and I want it to come now and it's not here yet, is there any of that energy around your scripting?
No, it's just like kind of what you're saying, attracting the right open minds, open hearts.
Okay.
Collaborate with the right.
Right. Dear God, thank you for leading me to script about this perfectly in the past. What are new insights or new perspectives around this that I want to shift or change that will move this in a different direction for me? See what I'm saying? I want fresh energy. So another way to get fresh energy is to stop scripting about it for a while until you maybe spend some time getting some more clarity. And you script about just getting clarity. Scripting for clarity is a huge benefit. Dear God, I want clarity around this. As clarity comes, I intend to get more specific. But until I get specific, help guide my thoughts. And I am open to ideas, insights, inspiration, dreams, visions, angels, conversations, articles, emails, text messages, websites, radio, TV, whatever. I mean, those are all the unlimited resources, right, that things can come to you from. Casual conversations, walking down the street. And I trust myself that I will know it when I see it. That's an important phrase to trust. Because what does that demonstrate? Radical trust. In who? If you don't trust yourself, you don't trust the universe. Because who are we?
The universe. Part of it.
We are the ocean. We are the wave on an ocean, and because we're the wave on the ocean, we're the ocean. If I don't trust myself, I don't trust my source. That was a big lesson for me one time, a few years ago. It's like, wait a minute, John, did you realize that when you don't trust yourself, you're not trusting God, you're not trusting the source? And when I spent some time thinking about that, it was like, that doesn't make sense. Not with my belief system anyway. So what can I do to shift that energy about starting to trust myself? Any questions about scripting?
Yeah, good question. Good at me.
We've had 5 conversations at least about.
We'll have fun.
He's always yelling at me. Not yelling.
Well, I feel bad when I can't fill up the whole page. I have to run out the door.
That's okay.
It's like sometimes I only put 3 sentences. I'm like, wait a minute, I'm not done yet. I get on a roll, I feel like.
Sure.
Or if you get crazy busy and then you're just don't have time to do it. I'll just say a prayer about it. You know what I'm saying? I'll just say, okay, I'm driving in my car, Laura. This is what I wrote down.
There you go.
For a long time, I stopped scripting, and I'm getting back into it. But time, buffers, all that.
Garbage.
Thank you. So, I'm not kidding. 3/4 of the scripted book on each page, I just wrote, "Thank you, God, for me." Next day, intend to work on something else. All right, got to get in alignment. Thank you, God, for me. And just kept doing that. And I'm 3/4 of the book through. I was like, oh, wow, okay, finally, alignment, cool.
It's your experience.
Right.
Yeah.
It's your experience.
Back in the Bible, when you do Bible study or something, Bible requests.
Yes.
You go back and look at your Bible requests or any of your thing. You're like, oh, look at all those answered prayers. I mean, that's what, I got the first one when I started with you.
Yeah.
Months ago, so I was like, oh, well, it does work, I'm just stuck somewhere.
And that's where we're supposed to be. And by going, wait a minute, let me spend some time getting clear. Let me script for clarity. Instead of scripting for something specific, I can script about clarity. What does clarity look like in this situation? What does clarity look like, feel like, and sound like? What does healing look like, feel like, and sound like for me? And just put yourself open to receive. You are a powerful creator. You have dominion over all things. The moment you step into radical trust, give yourself permission to make a commitment to honor your preference. Unlimited and infinite doors open up to pour in abundant resources like a flood from places you wouldn't even think about. And places you do think about. I trust you to know what you want. I trust you to honor your own preferences. That demonstrates self-respect. I trust you to be right where you are and be okay. Knowing that you are surrounded by love and energy to take you moving forward in any direction that serves you. Thank you, everybody, for coming tonight.